Hi, I'm Jessica, and for nearly a year now, me and my family have been traveling from the Netherlands to the Mediterranean Sea on a sailboat. We love living on the sea, but what we love most about this lifestyle are the people that we meet on the water. They have such fascinating stories. So this channel is actually not about us, it's about the people and the boats that we meet along the way. In this first episode, I'm meeting up with our friend Joe. Together with his wife Cathy, he sails an Island Packet 380. A real blue water cruiser with the biggest bathroom I've seen on a 38-foot sailboat. And yes, I'm calling it a bathroom. Joe also has a great tip on how not to wreck your marriage while sailing.
We used to have a boat in Canada. We had a 34-foot Catalina, and a mine that I worked at, closed unexpectedly. So we took the opportunity to take a year off. And we took that little boat and went down the east coast of the US and then spent the winter in the Bahamas and spent 12 months on the boat. And we knew then that we would like to do this again when we retire. So here we are.
So, what kind of boat is this?
This is an Island Packet 380, and it's a year 2000 model.
Okay. And how would you describe the boat?
How would I describe it? Sturdy. It's very strong. It's made to cross oceans and things. So it's got a full keel. It's not the fastest boat in the world, but it's a very comfortable boat to sail on in almost any sea condition. So, and most importantly, it has room for Cathy to do yoga down below. So that's why she likes it.
All right. So, why this boat? For the yoga.
Well, yes, partly boat yoga. It's a good size for us. We didn't. My kind of limit was 40 feet. So this is 38. I didn't want to get any bigger than that. Just costs start going up, and we wanted something that was easily managed by the two of us, and it's most of the time it's just the two of us. So.
All right. And a proper blue water cruiser, was that one of the criteria as well?
Yes, I wanted. Yes, so I looked at a number of alternatives, but Cathy liked this one, and if the Admiral likes a certain boat, it makes it a lot easier to go for that boat.
So when did you get this boat?
We bought this boat in, I guess, August or September of 2019, just before the beginning of the pandemic in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam. So yes. You were living in Sweden?
Yes.
You're Canadian,
yes.
And you got it in Amsterdam?
Yes. It's not that far away from Sweden, and our plan at that time was to take it back to Sweden for a couple of years, learn the boat, do some work on it, and then retire and sail off. Of course, COVID had different ideas.
Yeah.
And so the boat really just sat for almost 2 years in Amsterdam, and or just outside of Amsterdam, and Almere, and we never got there until the spring of 2021. Yeah. And
so you had it for 2 years
before we could sail it. Yes. I think there's a lot of people like that in this time with COVID. Yeah. People that bought boats and couldn't use them.
So, where did you go?
Well, our first, we stayed there for 2 months, just doing a bit of work and getting to know the boat, and getting to meet some wonderful Dutch friends. And So then we went up along the North Sea and to Germany and the Kiel Canal into the Baltic, and went and traversed Sweden on the Göta Canal, and that allowed us to go back to the town that we lived in Sweden, and spent a week there. A little place called Askersund, and visited with friends there, and tied up on the dock in town, and had a great visit, and then continued on our way. And the Göta Canal ends on the west side in Göteborg, and then we went from there back into Denmark, and a friend met us in Copenhagen, Phil, and Phil joined us for a long trip, and we did a lot of miles. So we went from Copenhagen to Lisbon with Phil.
Right. So, can you show us the boat?
Show you the boat? Well, yes, sure, why not? It's a messy boat, like
you
like
told
all
me
liveaboard boats.
don't let them clean your
up.
boat.
Yes, don't clean up first. So it's a little bit untidy, as most liveaboard boats are.
Yeah.
So yes, cockpit. It's a pretty decent sized cockpit. There's lots of room to stretch out. So if it's so hot, like last night, I was tempted to sleep here in the cockpit, but I stayed below. We've got a faithful old two-stroke outboard there.
Yeah.
On the stern.
The nice little seats. Do you ever sit on them?
The nice little seats. Yes, they would in theory. But when I put this Bimini on in Amsterdam, I didn't count on how much interference this would provide. So I may modify this a little bit later on and get rid of this and put a strap down here so that we can use the seats again, because it's kind of been made pointless. But we do really enjoy the Bimini. Cathy insisted that we get the enclosure with it, and they just zip in. So I think all the way from the Elbe River after the Kiel Canal, all the way to Lisbon, we had the sides in, and it was a totally enclosed cockpit, and it was nice and warm. And a lot of the other sailors that we met were coming into the harbor wet and cold and tired, and we were wearing our shorts and t-shirts still. So really good thing to have. We like the enclosure, and on top I've got some solar panels mounted. Put those on a little project. So that keeps, so far, it's kept the batteries fully charged, usually by noon. And what else?
This is nice.
Yeah, this is nice. Yes, this is a. Thanks, Jessica. This was I'll call it a Dutch solution to the fact that the grab rail here, once I added the nav pod here, was really non-existent. So people love to hold something going by. I will get a new stainless steel, but I just haven't done it yet. And this was a quick and dirty and cheap solution from the hardware store. One of the things I love really is storage on this boat. There is 2 cavernous cockpit lockers here, I've been in them many times, and it's amazing how much stuff goes in there. In this one we have a gangplank, an aluminum gangplank, folded up. We have 2 folding bicycles. We have our Rainman water maker. We have all kinds of rope, cleaning equipment, all kinds of stuff. There's no end of what can go in those lockers. So yes, forward as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to go forward? So the Med is the first place in the world I've been where it rains mud and dirt. So usually you can count on rain to clean your boat a little bit and clean the dust off. And here it's the opposite. It seems, at least right the last couple of small rains that we've had, it gathers up dust from the Sahara that's up in the atmosphere and drops it all out on your boat. So it really looks...
This is the result.
Yeah, this is, one little rain, two little rains, and it looks terrible.
So what is the boom for?
Oh yes,
That's unusual.
Yeah, this is a little unusual. This is a feature on, I think, all island packets, and it's called a Hoyt boom. And so there's a smaller cutter sail on a furler, and it's really self-tending. So it's handy to have. I don't use it all the time, but it's quite handy, and in really heavy winds, I'll often have this one out instead of the big Genoa. And of course, like most cruisers, we don't tack a whole lot. So the self-tending part is
Easy.
Yeah, you go 50 miles on a tack. That's it. You stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you guys ever tack?
No.
Like, when's the last time you tacked?
When we lost the propeller.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yes.
we hardly ever sail upwind actually. Down
Inside.
below.
Yes, down below. Yeah, it's so this is the yoga studio here. There's room for Cathy to do yoga, and if she really has to stretch, she can put her hands up through the hatch. And then when it's mealtime, of course, this is a nice feature. The table folds down. And so it creates quite a lot of space when you have it up on the wall.
Yep. Nav station.
Nav station, yes.
So what's
This one here? These are our these are great. We call these marriage savers. It's sometimes challenging to communicate from the helm up to the bow of the boat when you're docking or anchoring or whatever. And so these things, it's a Bluetooth connection. And then we can talk very nicely to one another, and you don't get your self all worked up by yelling. So we have a pair of those.
marriage savers?
Marriage savers, yes. Yes. Lots of storage. Yeah, it's amazing. There's a very big locker here full of tools and snorkels and fins, and there's shelves here and here, and below these baskets there's another hatch, and lots and lots of storage. And the water pump and manifolds and things are under this one, but otherwise the same storage arrangement the other places.
So your ginormous bathroom. Head.
Oh, yeah.
The head.
The head. Oh, you can't look at heads on the video, can you? Yes, it's a very very big head. You could almost do yoga in here, but
Yeah. Show us the...
oh, the shower
I
stall.
think I have to go this way.
Yes, yes, the two entrances. So they've put together this idea where this thing flips out, and then this goes here, and this goes here, and then you can keep half of your bathroom dry at least, and shower on this side. It's quite convenient. V-berth, pretty spacious. Again, Pretty generous storage as well. Anchor locker forward.
The bathroom, do you think it's because it's an American boat that they made it like that, or not?
I don't know. It's certainly very spacious.
Yeah.
Most heads that I've been in are much smaller,
Yeah.
including my previous boat, which was American. So I think, yeah, I'm not sure why they made it so big.
Okay. So are you a American boat lover, or is it just a coincidence?
Well, the first one, it was a first boat. And when you're in Canada, you don't have to pay duties on American-made boats because of free trade arrangement. So that's important. If you buy something that was made in Taiwan and import it, you need to pay 20% duties in addition to the sales taxes. So it can get very expensive to bring in a foreign boat. So, and this one, yeah, it was, the Admiral liked it. We have friends who have one, and Cathy liked it a lot, so it made it easy. I like it too. This is Lady Seagull.
Yes, because that's the name of the boat.
This is Lady Seagull. This is my grandmother. And that's, I think, a photograph from 1948 or so. And back in the 1960s and 70s, they were very active and interested in CB radios. And they talked to people all over the place. And everyone with CB radios had like a call name or a handle, they called it. And his name was Seagull, and hers was Lady Seagull. So I named the boat after my grandmother, in a way. Cookbooks.
So what's the most read book in your...
Oh boy, the most read book? The one that I go to most often is, Nigel Calder. I'm sure a lot of people use this one, but that's my go-to book if I'm trying to figure something out that I may not have tackled before. I like to fix things myself if I can. So yes, Nigel Calder is probably my go-to.
All right.
The Galley, it's a gas stove, 3 burners, and pretty conventional. I like the layout. There's a spot here you can put a strap if you're in heavy seas to keep yourself standing and cooking. Haven't done that yet. Dry storage, all kinds. Very, very generous size fridge here, which is run from 12 volt, of course. And that little sign was in the first house that we bought together. 30 plus, about 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago this year we bought it. And that little sign was hanging, I think, in a bathroom in the basement. And it's just sort of stayed with us ever since. It starts when you sink in his arms and ends with your arms in the sink.
Yeah. It must be really old.
Oh yeah, I think it's from the 1950s. Yeah. Access to the engine here is pretty decent for a sailboat. You've got access on both sides with a small port. It removed the stairs, and you've got access on the front, and then from the aft berth you have access again. You can lift out. You have to remove the cushions, but you've got pretty good access there as well.
All right.
There's one interesting feature in the aft cabin.
Oh.
I don't have to talk about it. I'll just pop it out.
So cool.
And voila.
So where are you planning on going?
Where? Yes. Well, in the next couple of weeks, we're just going to hang out here in the Balearics. And then on June 20th, in, 2 weeks' time? Yeah, roughly. We are pulling the boat out of the water and putting it in storage for on land for about 3 months and go back to Canada for the summer. Then we come back in October and put it back in the water and head for Gibraltar. And then from Gibraltar, we will go to Madeira, which is about 5 days, I think, and 5-day passage. And then from there to Canary Islands. And in the Canary Islands, we're joining up with a group called the Viking Explorers Rally and crossing the Atlantic via Cape Verde.
Cool.
In January.
Yes. And long-term plans?
Long-term plans, don't have any right now. We're originally we thought maybe we can do 12 months on the boat of the year, but that's other demands and other things that we'd like to do as well. So we'll work that out. The boat will stay in the Caribbean, I think, for a couple of years. Just put it on dry land storage for the summer period, the hurricane season, and likely keep it in Grenada, where it's usually out of the hurricane path. And come back in, say, November and spend 6 months aboard.
Yes, nice.
For a few years. And then we'll decide. Maybe we'll take it to Canada.
That's it for the first episode. Let us know what you think, and we'd love it if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. In next week's video, I'm paying a visit to this boat. Can you guess which brand and model it is? Drop your answer in the comments below and get a chance to win this unique Boatlife is Best coffee mug.